Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm going to show you kind of as a continuation from yesterday about how to work with the layers to create movement that from between scenes. So, like in what we did yesterday, is we added the hazard, which was just a basic script that I applied on what essentially was a wall. And if you look at my scene today, what I have is just kind of this basic coin that's going to be in the scene, kind of like a goal to take you to the next level. So I'm going to show you how that works. Um, it is a slightly different script, but again, it's an on-trigger enter script. The only differences are you're going to have things like scene management. So I'm going to show you that entire process as well. But once you have the layers on your game object, a lot of the things in this project really start to move pretty quickly and come together. So here's my coin object. You can see that I have it in my prefabs folder, which is right here. And I'm going to make this a lot bigger just because, again, it's going to be like a goal object here. So again, if I'm looking around, and this is in my scene, but I'm just going to add it like this, and that looks fine to me. So I have all of the scripts and everything attached. You can see that here, which I'll show you in a second. And when I go back to my scene, you can see that this coin is right here. So one of the nice things is I can just reuse this across a bunch of different scenes as long as I'm managing the scene in my scene manager. Then it's going to work perfectly. So I have my script, and again, from yesterday, when I move my script or I move my character around, you're going to see that if I run into the walls, everything kind of stops, but these are my hazards. If I hit them, it's going to replace me back in the scene so that I can start over and kind of move around. Now, here's my goal. And so what I'm doing, and I'm just going to demonstrate it, if I run into it, it's going to take me to what I have kind of started as my next scene. Okay. So that scene is not really finished yet. And what I did is if you look at your scenes, I have like a level 2 scene here and I have my main scene here. So in order for that to work, though, there's a couple of things I have to do. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. The first thing is I need a script, of course. So I'm going to go into this goal script. So here's my goal script. You're going to notice at the top, besides the using Unity engine, which is kind of standard, at this point from the newer versions of Unity, used to have a few more things, but in this case, you can just use using Unity engine. I've also added this using Unity engine scene management as well. So I have my class, which is called goal, and then this script doesn't have a start or update method. It's just got an on trigger enter, very similar to our hazard. The difference is here I have my layer 8, which is what is basically saying, okay, if the object that collides with this has this layer, which we did yesterday, then it's going to go to the scene manager and load this scene, which in my case, it says level 2. Okay. So this is the entire script that will get most things in your game to work. In terms of just like restarting levels, going back to the beginning, respawning, like there's a lot of like on trigger enters. So now when I'm in my scene, I have my object. You can see my goal script is attached. But in order for this to work, I have to do a couple of things. One of them, as you saw, my scenes were labeled main, which is this one, and then I have level 2, which is going to be my next level. Now, what I have to do here is I have to go to my build profiles, and you're going to see that it says open scene list. So I need to have any scene that it's going to transition to in this list. If you don't see it here or you don't have a check mark here, then you need to do open scene list and then go to that scene and click add open scenes. So you can also rearrange this if you need to. Like there's some commands that do next level. You know, if you have a scene where maybe you have a secret and you want it to go to another level, like kind of like a warp in early Mario games, then you could arrange that here too. The thing you have to note is that whatever you're putting in this goal script, and I'll show you here, if whatever you're putting in there it needs to match what you've named the scene. So these quotes here and the spelling and the capitalization and everything are really important. Otherwise, it's not really going to work for your game. So you have to make sure that these match. And there are more efficient ways of doing this, but to get like basic scene transitions, this is just an effective piece of code. Again, it's just looking for the layer. If it registers that collision, if I go back to Unity, if I'm on the sphere collider, again, you want to make sure his trigger is here. And everything else will kind of come together after that. What you'll see too is like as we add more hazards, like the next thing we're going to add is a hazard that basically has the character or the enemy shooting a sphere out every few seconds. It's really the same thing. If the hazard collides with the player, it's going to make you restart the level. If you run into the coin or the goal, it's going to take you to like another scene. And so the nice thing is now it's just building the hazards, kind of getting the code for a few timing things. But at this point, you can make a very sort of simple game just from maze levels and basic hazards. So I hope that this is helpful. If you need to see the script, it'll be in the Canvas page. You also have it in the textbook that we've been reviewing, but all of this information is here. If you have any questions, please just let me know. All right. I hope you have a good rest of your day.